It's a bootlegkev.com exclusive.
Yo, it's Power 98.3 where hip-hop lives, man. Bootleg Kev live in studio right now. We have got one of the hottest dudes out, man. He's making a lot of noise, you know. MMG representative right now. Of course, we got Stalley in the building.
Yes, man. What's happening?
I'm chilling, bro. First things first, congrats on, like, the last year, dog, because I was a fan of your first tape, the one that made all the noise. The
Lincoln Way Nights.
Yeah, the Lincoln Way Nights. And you know what's crazy is, like, I'm a super, like, underground hip-hop head. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Respect.
But I also, like, I also... into a lot of trap music. So when you came up, when you coined the intelligent trunk music, I was like automatically gravitated to that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was just cool, and it was definitely a good look to see someone like Rick Ross pay attention to someone like yourself.
Definitely, man. And you know, with that, like, you hit it on the nose. That's exactly what I was trying to do, because, like you said, man, I'm a fan of the underground, but I'm also a fan of the trap music. I like the big bass, and you know, growing up listening to everything from Nas to Ice Cube to E40 to Outkast, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to basically kind of show where my inspirations came from and put it into my own sound and my own music, and that's what I did. And like you said, like, Ross took notice. He seen the hard work that I was putting into the music, putting into the visuals, getting on MTV and BET with no deal by myself, just working my own set. And he really was like, man, like, you got it. You got what it takes. You know? And he said that's how him and, you know, guys like Khaled and those guys started up too. So,
you know, it's crazy because I've really gained. I've always been a big Ross fan, but, like, just the signings that he's made with yourself and someone like Rocky Fresh, like, really, like, caught me off guard, you know? Like, the guy's really, like, you know, he's really paying attention to what's happening, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. You know, he knows what's going on.
Right.
Everything that's going on. Like, he knows. So he got his hand in a little bit of everything. So, I mean, he's a smart man. Everybody knows that through even listening to his music. You can hear that he listens to everything, and, you know, he puts it into his music as well.
Have you, do you feel like you've had to maybe switch up a little bit when you're, like, on a song with Ross, or when you do the self-made stuff? Or do you feel like it's pretty much you're still the same Stalley that, you know, that your core fans have come to appreciate?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same, you know, and I think that's what's the beautiful part about it, is that he had never kind of give me a record that'll take me to a whole different, you know, dimension with the music or whatever. Like, he's definitely giving me something that that I can write about, or topics that I can be myself on. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't fit, then it doesn't fit. But he does that with all of us, you know what I mean?
Which is dope. Yeah, I noticed that.
He lets us all do our own thing and be our own individual artists, and keep our sounds, you know?
Yeah, hey, when you did Power Circle, it was such a crazy song to kick off that album, and everyone really killed it, man. It was like, it was really just like everybody just spit. There was no hook, you know what I'm saying? It was just, it was like a movie, man. Did you hear everybody else's verses? What was the recording process on your end for a song like that, where, you know, you got nothing but heavyweights on the track with you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I didn't even know who all was gonna be on it. He just gave me the beat one time. We was in Atlanta, in his crib in Atlanta, in the studio, and he just was like, man, I want you to get on this, and he gave me the concept. All he had was the couple bars, or like the talking that he
his
had.
Part where he's like, yeah.
So, and then he's like, just put a verse on. I just want you to put 24 bars on it.
He's like, nah, this is what it's about to be. We about to have Kendrick on here. You know what I'm saying?
He said that I think he told me he had Kendrick, and I think he told me Wale was gonna be on it, but I didn't know, you know, Gunplay and Meek.
Gunplay did his thing.
Oh yeah, everybody did.
Yeah, everybody.
So, you know, I just wrote 24. Everybody else put it, and then I heard it when you know, everything was put together, and he let me hear some of the album in the studio before we even like, you know, put it out, and I was just like, wow, that's a great song to kick it off.
In the MMG circle, man, because you're you know, you've been rolling with them for about a year.
Yeah, about a year now. Yeah.
Who in the group kind of took you under their wing? Was there anybody? Because I assume Ross was the initial relationship you had.
Yeah.
I also, like, I always thought maybe you and Wale might kind of relate to each other, because I feel like Wale was one of the original, like, dudes that really came up through the mixtapes on the blogs and stuff.
Right.
Was there anybody who really you took to more than the others? Or
I think it's pretty equal, you know, with all of us. I think that you know, everybody's giving me some advice that, you know, I could take and apply to my career. But it's funny, because the first time I ever met Ross, I went down to Dallas, and Meek was down there, and Meek was like, yo, man, he's like, this is the right opportunity to be. Like, Ross gonna set you up so you can go get it. And then, you know, from there on, you know, me and Meek had built that relationship, and just to see where he came in the last year or two, it's just been amazing too. You know,
it's
what I mean?
Everybody, man.
Yeah, everybody in general, and it's just like, it's just a beautiful thing. But like I said, it's like, it's all like, it's like having a whole bunch of big brothers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've only been doing the music for 4 years, so
that's crazy.
To have those guys who've been around for years, like Meek, you can catch him on YouTube when he was like what 10,
when he was young,
11, you know.
Some of the videos I see of Meek online, I'm like, that can't be. Oh, it's Meek. It is Meek. He still looks like a little kid, man.
Exactly. So you know, with these guys who have experience with putting out mixtapes and touring and things like that, you know, the advice I always take from them, and yeah, it's a dope thing to have that, you know what I mean, especially being an up and coming a new artist.
That's what's up. You're from Cleveland, which is
I'm from Massillon.
Oh, Massillon. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it's like
okay.
45 from
45
Cleveland.
minutes away, so it's kind of like being from like Tempe or Mesa from out here.
Right.
So, I want you to talk about, because I feel like Phoenix, and there's certain cities that well, not anymore. You guys got Cuddy and y'all got MGK and yourself representing. Right. I mean, Bone's always blown up, but I feel like Phoenix is kind of similar to Cleveland, as it's like a big city that never really gets like the love that it should.
It's definitely that. You know what I mean?
What is your relationship like with all these other Cleveland dudes? You know, MGK, Cuddy. You know, I know Cuddy's real selective about who he fucks with.
MGK
you know?
is the homie. You know what I mean? I haven't really met Cuddy much. Chip the Ripper, that's the homie. You know what I mean? So, you know, that it's all love when we see each other. You know what I mean? Me and Chip working on something right now.
Dope.
So, yeah. I mean, we coming up, the younger
coming
Ohio
up
dudes.
as like a kid. How big was Bone out there? I always wonder that, man.
I had braids because of Bone, man.
Word.
Yeah. Before the beard, I had braids.
He's like, man, I used to love me some Bone.
Nah, I love Bone, man. They was like, you know, they was everything to us, because that was all we had, you know what I mean? And that was the voice that we had. So.
And Mark Price.
Yeah. Exactly.
Brad Daugherty.
Brad Daugherty, you know what I mean? Larry Nance, but and Bernie Kosar. But, you know, Bone was like musically, like for us, like young dudes coming up, they was like the first rappers to ever really, really hit the scene and go hard and blow up like they did, and they just worldwide, man.
When they were at their peak, they were the biggest thing in hip hop.
You know,
for
Grammys and VMAs and just everything doing their thing. So
what was it like doing this? It's so crazy, because I saw online that you guys were doing the First Take thing, and then I just happened to be watching First Take last week, and it was like a music video opening up. It was like a whole music video.
Yeah, I didn't even know that we was doing that.
Yeah,
you know
I was like, I was like, Stalley and Wale got the intro. Like ESPN is keeping it so thorough right now.
Right. And
well, how did that come to be? I mean,
they both reached out to us. You know, Wale, he has a sports background, and I have, you know, sports background with, you know, the knowledge as well, and we've both did things with ESPN in the past, and they know that we close and we on the same team, so they basically just approached both of us and was like, listen, this is the idea we have. We would like both of you guys to be a part of it. We like you guys to come in. They, you know, got the studio, had Stephen A and Skip come through. We just chopped it up and then sat down and made the video. I mean, made the song, and they were recording. And I didn't know they was going to put it together like they did, but it came out well.
Yeah. What did those dudes like? I always wonder what Stephen A and Skip are like off camera, especially like interacting with each other off camera. You know, what I'm saying?
Pretty much the same.
They are.
Yeah, they both. You know, Stephen A is still kind of loud and, you know, very
Skip seems like
Skip
is like a low key like hip hop head. He be knowing stuff, so I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's mellow, but he, you know, they both are, you know, pretty much the same dude. You know what I mean? When it comes to getting to talking to sports and things like that.
Now you got a debate on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's left, right?
Yeah.
You got the intro.
We got to get on there and talk some basketball when I get.
Hey, the big thing everybody was talking about in hip hop last week was BT Awards, and there was a fight with MMG and 50, and you know, it's drama, it's whatever. Right. It's negative. I don't like to really talk about the negative stuff. I know that you are you know, that's your clique. You don't seem like somebody who really gets wrapped up in that kind of stuff. What were you there?
I was there, and I mean, I was in the crowd when everything was going on, because, you know, I was just there to support my brothers who was performing, like Meek and Ross.
Yeah.
And you know, everything really happened after Ross got off stage. So once I heard about it, you know, me and Meek was actually sitting there together, and once we heard about it, we like went back to see what was going on, but everything had died down. So I mean, all we really heard was what everybody else heard at that point, you know. And but my main concern, I just checked on Ross, make sure he was all right.
Because I know your music is very it's more of like positive conscious type music.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what
not into all that. You know, like half of the stuff I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, like, wait, why do y'all got beef again? Exactly. I wasn't hip on World Star 2 years ago when this shit was really happening.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So I mean, but I'm, you know, anything. I'm just, you know, the main thing to me is just the importance of safety, and you know, we don't need to be beefing. Anyway.
Everyone's like, growing, everyone's getting money.
Yeah, and everybody's getting money. So that's how I feel about it. But like I said, you know, my thing was I'm gonna go check on my big brother regardless. You know what I mean? So that's why, you know, me and Meek went back there to see what was going on, and like I said, I checked on him. He said he was good, and that was it. But like I'm not even saying that. Like I really don't know where everything is coming from. You know what I mean? When it comes to the beefing. So
yeah, it's all. I think a lot of times that kind of stuff is like a lot of stuff gets left off music, you know what I'm saying? You know, so what I gotta ask you, man, Gunplay to me is one of the most entertaining dudes to watch. He put out a video on World Star. It was a music video, and I don't know if you've seen this. I forget the name of the song, but it was maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and he's just in this ratchet ass car with this white girl, and he's like taking money from this fat white chick. It was the most just ignorant, just awesome shit I've ever seen. Is Gunplay like that turned up like in real life?
Yeah, he's pretty much turned up all the time. You know,
that was hilarious.
I mean, you'll catch him on some mellow moments, but he's really turned up. Like, you know what I mean? He's a high energy dude, but he's also a kind-hearted good dude too. He just like to have fun and enjoy himself, man. That's all. And his, you know, and the way he enjoys himself is a little different from
from the way everybody else. Everybody else,
but he you know, he be in his own world. He enjoying himself. He kicking it, but he's just a good dude, and it's entertaining to watch.
It is very entertaining.
On and off camera.
Right. Let's talk about you've already dropped a tape since you've been with MMG.
Yeah.
Savage Journey to the American Dream.
Right.
I'm assuming the next step is your debut album.
Yeah, we're working on that right now. So we about halfway done, you know what I mean? But I had to put it on hold once I hopped on this tour with Kendrick and the TDE fan for the BET Music Matters tour. But yeah, it's about halfway done. We're gonna start working some records probably towards the end of this year, top of next year. Start getting some singles out and continue to finish up the project.
Who are you trying to get on the album, man?
Man, you know, right now.
Or who do you have on the album?
Yeah,
already?
Right now I've worked with DJ Quick. You know?
Word.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I worked with Quick. I got you know, the Block Beaters. I got the homie Rashad who did all the Lincoln Way nights.
Yeah. He's on. He's all over there. Yeah.
Soundtrack. Who else I got on there? I got a joint with Carrie Hilson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
do you feel any pressure to when you go in the studio to do the album thing now that you're on another platform? Do you feel any pressure to make a radio single, or do you just make the music and hope organically it just pops like that?
I just make the music organically. You know, like, of course the production is bigger or more of a global sound, so to say, to reach the masses. But at the end of the day, it's still me. It's just kind of amplified. Right. Makes sense. You know what I mean? It's just the same sound but amplified. But there's no pressure at all. It's the same type of music. It's the same vibe. You know, like me, I just like to make music that touches people, that you can vibe to, that you can ride to, and that inspires people to want to do better in life in general.
That's what's up, man. That's good.
That's all I try to do is put out that music. Like Bob Marley said, man, one thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain.
True that. I mean? So. I'm really excited to see who you connect with on this album feature-wise. Like, who is some hip hop artists out there that a fan like myself might appreciate that you might want to link up with on the album?
Man, Scarface.
Wow.
Andre 3000. Nas.
Of course.
Mos.
That'd be crazy. You get Mos on there.
Who else? Of course the team. Meek, Wale, Ross. Who else? Ice Cube. I'm someone who, I'm like you, like I'm just a fan, and I've been a fan, and like I would love to get some of the people who inspired me and that I looked up to and I admired growing up to get on some records with me, you know what I mean? I definitely, so those names that I threw out there are some of the top of the list.
That'd be dope, man. Stalley, the new album, I'm assuming maybe
probably
second quarter? No title yet?
No title yet.
That's
just working on the music.
Just working on the music.
Hopefully I'll have that title soon.
Mixtape before the album or just album?
Maybe. But we'll see what it do.
We'll see what's up, man.
So
make sure y'all go support the MMG. Go get that Black Bar Mitzvah.
Yeah, get that.
Go get Dreams and Nightmares.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Dropping
October 30th.
Yeah,
that's
October
my birthday.
30th.
So
are you on?
If you want to give me a present, get that.
Are you on that album?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah. But everybody else is on it, so make sure y'all get that and support that.
That's what it is. Stalley tonight is going down.
Yes.
BET Music Matters Tour, Power 98.3. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
BootlegKev.com, motherfucker! a motherfucker, exclusive motherfucker, 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 exclusive, bitch.